Well, there is Crystal Skull Books. It's a website, crystalskulls.com, and it specializes practically in sharing the information or in the mystery surrounding the crystal skulls. Well, if you Google images crystal skulls, you get a wide array of crystals, and at least 8 have been found all around the world, and it's even one is in the London Museum. And they do not know how they were created. Well, I actually got a book on these crystal skulls, and they found there were actually Mesoamerican artifacts in South America. I read somewhere that they were also found in other parts in the world. And the New Age movement, or the alternative archaeologists also online and with their books, depict these as pre-Columbian artifacts of South America, and that they've been examined, these artifacts, these quartz crystal skulls, that they've been cut in such a fashion that it cannot be done using rudimentary type gear like a hand stone or a hand or some type of hard material to carve it. That they are so purely made that you needed a laser practically to cut through these crystals. That is what the alternative researchers say online and in these alternative books. And the New Age movement states that they also have metaphysical powers. I believe that there's some type of ancient crystal-based database that's also suggested that these skulls actually contain information within their crystal matrix, and that these were practically manufactured in hundreds of, if not thousands of years ago by ancient supercultures that were in contact with the so-called Aryan gods or white gods, with these Aldebaranic Aryans or Nordic aliens, and even ancient other cultures were in contact with, apparently, with grey races. But we will stick now firstly to the forbidden archaeological part. You can see here that the mystery skulls, the so-called crystal skulls, present a mystery. There's also a crystal skull in the Natural Museum in the museum in London, at display there. You can go there and view it. Well, the British Museum depicts actually a crystal skull within their assortment, the Rock Crystal Skull. And that is how it looks like. If you Google giant human skeletons blogspot, you get incredible amounts of periodicals, clippings of periodicals, and you can see 11 feet tall skeletons of prehistoric giants unearthed at the Michigan Mounds. These are all real, this was all reported back then, but it actually slowly, and here's even a picture of it, depicting one of these incredible entities. That is also suppressed in our society. It is also archaeology and anthropological history. So you have to know that the powers that rule over us, that dictate history, that control the world media, that control the world banking system and monetary system, that practically dictate what happens in this world and creates war after war, also dictate what happens in archaeology. There is an official view on archaeology supporting the theory of evolution, which is flawed. It is a suppression of knowledge, of archaeological evidence that there is an alternative history to mankind on this planet. This part was now about so-called ancient suppressed archaeology or forbidden archaeology. There's several books on this topic, just Google it and research the secret history of the of mankind, and have an open mind. Now to part 2. That is from cosmologyblogspot.nl, and it depicts practically the story of the Sumerian clay tablets. And it goes, did the ancient Sumerians know about our solar system? Question. Dick, Ed, the ancient Sumerians knew about our solar system. Long ago. Look at the image of the sun being encircled by 10 planets. In the upper left of this ancient Sumerian cylinder seal. Well, this is the ancient Sumerian seal, and as you can see, depicted here is a star or a sun with planets around it. Well, that is a close-up now of this image, and as you can see here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if you include the small one here, planets that are apparently in our solar system. The Sumerians were clearly intelligent people with a value system, a set of laws, diversification of labor, a monetary system, marriage and divorce, and many of the attributes of a sophisticated culture. I think it is likely that as this image shows, they perceived the Earth to be one of many spherical globes circling the Sun, since everything in the sky was round and the Moon can be seen to be a spherical object. Well, some of these depictions actually of star systems within these ancient cultures depict more planets than we have right now today. We had actually 9 planets, then Pluto became a non-planet, and it became down to 8 planets. So it depends on how many objects we depict as planets. But nevertheless, the story goes as this. There was a 10th planet or exoplanet in the solar system as depicted in the ancient Sumerian seal. And that this planet was in between Mars and Earth. It was called Phaethon, or planet Nibiru in the other circles. And this planet Phaethon is where now lies the asteroid belt in between Mars and the Earth. There's an asteroid belt, and the story is that there was a galactic war going on where a superweapon was used to destroy an entire planet. And the people that fled it went to Earth and Mars. And that's why you can explain practically the pyramids of Mars. If you Google Mars pyramids, you get the following images of Mars actually, of apparent structures on Mars. These are, as you can see yourself, that these are structures on Mars, and many researchers, alternative researchers, claim that they were made by an advanced civilization. Richard C. Hawklin is a researcher of the Mars pyramids, and he wrote several books on the topic. His website is theenterprisemission.com, and this is how he looks like. Richard C. Hawklin is an American author and proponent of various conspiracies theorying about NASA, lost alien civilizations on the Moon and Mars, and other related topics. Well, he is a conspiracy theorist specializing practically in these structures that have been practically photographed on Mars. So this ancient Sumerian artifact displays practically an exoplanet in our solar system, or more planets at least. And that either we counted wrongly and we state that there were different planets, or there was really more planets in our solar system, and there is some truth to a galactic war or ancient space travel. There are numerous witnesses from the Disclosure Project that have worked with NASA, and that state that they actually edited the entire photo stream coming from the probes that went to the Moon and Mars, to edit all evidence out that there's any type of civilization, to keep practically the reality that we are alone. Now in the following video you will see more artifacts on ancient civilizations depicting practically high technological feats. Like in Egypt, the hieroglyphs of Egypt, there are some hieroglyphs here depicting a prehistoric electric light bulb and even spacecraft. Well, as you can see in this hieroglyph, you see a saucer type device here in between, and these two entities do not look human, have a triangular type head. This would suggest that these are the grey aliens. If you Google grey ETs, or ET greys. You can see that they have in their profile a triangular type face. As you can see here. Now you can see here that this spherical UFO type device that is depicted in these hieroglyphs and these ETs that look like the greys actually from a perspective, and that these are light bulbs depicting electricity. So you can actually see this, the Egyptians wrote practically using hieroglyphs or small pictures to depict the story, and here it is obvious. Spacecraft, ETs, use electricity to fly and see. So it is pretty interesting actually, this well, archaeological evidence that is there in archaeology practically in Egypt. Well, there is another hieroglyph. That is the hieroglyph from Egypt's Abydos temple, and you can clearly see in this hieroglyph a helicopter-type aircraft, a tank-like entity or a tank-like vehicle, and even a round aircraft or spacecraft. So you have all these hieroglyphs, or even the Sumerian seals. Ancient Sumer was apparently a colony from the Aryans of Aldebaran, Aldebaranic star system, and there was a planet named Sumer, Sumeria, and the first colony here on Earth was named Sumer after the home planet. But this comes now from Rule Society as an example, transmedial information, and it's all intertwined and connected. Now we have seen that there is a suppression of archaeological evidence in the mainstream sciences. Mainstream archaeology does not accept these findings and try to explain it, that ancient cultures like ancient Aryan Egypt was in contact with ET civilizations. Now you have to know that there is a suppression of all this knowledge going on online and in the real world. It is all evidence that has to be researched, and you have to have an open mind. I believe that Earth has been visited since thousands of years by ET civilizations, and that today we are kept in the loop or in the dark completely, because these people do not want us to believe that we may have racial brothers in the stars. They want to keep us mentally enslaved and mentally put down, be it now in historical accounts, be it now on truth movements in various sciences or in various directions, like be it now in technology, physics, alternative chemistry, alternative archaeology, alternative history. They all have this control over the educational system. It's so severe that they portray each and every direction of knowledge or science. They dictate practically what is reality. In the technology, like in the technological part, the suppression of technology is incredible. They already have anti-gravitic systems ready for themselves. Just Google water car as an example of Google anti-gravitics and zero-point energy devices, and you will find out that the so-called deep underground military bases in the United States, these elitists or Zionist elites have built huge underground cities for themselves because apparently they're preparing for some type of onslaught. These are preparations for something in the future that was remotely viewed by the CIA remote viewing programs as the so-called big event in our future that will happen, where the Earth will disappear, or the remote viewers can no longer view it. And they see this practically as some end times scenario, and that is why they built these underground huge military bases, practically entire cities underground. Just imagine the Hive from Resident Evil, but a lot larger, consisting of tens of thousands of people, all being put down there as a colony outside of this Earth. And they get a different programming. Just think of the movie The Island as an example, where the people underground are constantly fed a different propaganda view on Earth, such that they believe that they have the best life down there. You have to research this. It's alternative history, alternative technology. Yeah, suppression of technology is incredible. Just Google the Disclosure Project of Dr. Stephen Greer and read his book as an example. They suppress in NASA the entire digital stream. They alter the entire digital stream that's going through NASA and coming from the probes. They create this atheistical, no living universe theory to make us practically depressed and controlled. But if you research the UFO movement online, the alternative research online, the cigar-shaped UFOs, the Haunemus, the Vril, the Andromeda spacecraft, the secret triangle-type spacecraft that the US shadow government built, the TR-3B, just Google that. There are also pictures from it. Just Google the entire UFO waves phenomenon that have been documented globally on radar. This is all evidence that gives us a reality that's totally different than what they portray us through the media. The brainwashing is so intensive that everybody laughs at the mentioning of the UFO. But you have to combine this with revisionist history, the truth about 9/11, the truth about the Zionists controlling global affairs, the truth about these people controlling the world media and hence our minds, and build systematically your worldview or reality. And the worldview and reality, the truth is a lot more beautiful than what they depict, the depressed down and atheistical and lifeless theory, what they depict on TV or free at the school and scientific systems, official science. Google water car. Apparently they have built water cars in America. Electrolytic reactions, and these electrolytic gases, what hydrogen and oxygen is fed into the motor and it drives. Anyhow, I wanted to make a video actually concerning the archaeological revisionist history or forbidden archaeology, depicting practically ancient cultures as knowing how many planets there were in our star system, in our solar system, and even showing hieroglyphs of ancient Egypt depicting spacecraft and even aliens. And that is not even considered in official circles. But you can go there practically and see it with yourself. Anyhow, this was my video on forbidden archaeology, ancient space travel, and I hope you enjoyed it.
I saw something there, Bernard.
Recording.
Yeah, it's black now. Ooh. That's star, that's for sure, guaranteed. Holy shit.